So I visited or I attended the session of Bishop Paul Teague again, who I saw on Friday evening, and he really spoke about humanizing the social networks. And it was really neat. If you haven't seen my other video, I just talk about Bishop Paul and what he did. He worked in the Vatican for a while on the communications team. He helped launch Pope Benedict's the Twitter account for the popes from here on out, which is really cool to think about it. I mean, they enter the social media world. Like that's a huge figure. Like the church will always be involved in that. And when they joined, like social media had like a moral voice. It was really neat, and he was a part of that. Um, so we talked about dialogue within the social media networks. We know how crazy that is, and some of you probably get lost in the comments below, just laughing at people or reading at how ridiculous some of these comments are. I'm guilty of that, but he really said dialogue can take place. Healthy dialogue can take place. We just need to learn who we're talking to really humanize it, right? So he gave just a bunch of bullet points and expanded some of it. So I'll try to cover some of that. But they said number one, to lower our defenses. Defenses, right? They're not all after you, right? They don't want to attack you. They don't. We take it so personally, and then sometimes because what we put up is personal to us. But he says we have to come and lower our defenses. But also, ooh, I love this line. He said the speed of communication exceeds our capability of understanding, of reasoning. The speed of communication exceeds our capability of understanding and reasoning. Absolutely. How many times are we reading something? How can you say that and you type in something real quick and send it off because it's just that easy, right? Read it, type it, send it, done. He says no, wait, relax, think, take it in, dissect it. You know, he says it's probably 99% of the time, if you stop and think for like 10, 20 seconds, you probably wouldn't say the words that you would say right away, right? Or at least phrase it maybe a little differently. He says there are deeper roots uh, of the immense polarization, because he was talking about how with media, social media, there's no distance now, there's no challenge of time or the geography space between us. He says, but there is distance between the humanity of us. Because of the tech, we're really polarizing each other now, right? Now it's the people over there versus the people over there. No, although communication helps break down these barriers, we are creating these barriers within ourselves. Um, the complexity of our problems cannot be reduced to one single answer. Tell me why you're a Catholic. Ooh, it's not that easy. You know? Tell me why you think this. And it's not going to fit in 140 characters. Although, wasn't Twitter supposed to get rid of that? But anyways. It's not that easy, right? And how much harder is it to converse digitally? Right? I bet you guys had those issues. I know I have, where I'll be texting something and they totally receive it on the other end completely wrong. I've been on both ends of that. I'm sure you have too. How much harder is that when you're fired up about something and just having a comment war with somebody, trolling each other back and forth? He says the major media companies, they thrive off of that, right? The lower the intellectual, the more time we spend. Like, not the person, but the platform. The less we have to think, the more we get sucked in. And it's true. He says the companies call it the race to the bottom of the brainstem. Ouch. The race to the bottom of the brainstem. The less they have to think. To sit down, lay down, just scroll through everything. They said technology is not neutral. It is distracting, it can become distracting, and it can dumb our senses if we're not aware of it, right? And then he talks about human dignity. He gave a story about children living under a train platform, and when the trains would come by, people would throw away trash or whatever. It's just a massive amount of people that use the train all the time. And these children would live underneath the platform, along with the rats under them. And they would collect this trash once the train passed by. They'd collect that trash, and they were living off of that. He said, where's the human dignity? He said, that, seeing that, he said, where's the human dignity in that? And we have to apply that to everything. And in this case, social media. The human dignity to the person on the other side. We must listen to them, respect them. Because if we don't, then there's no hope of understanding and conversing with one another. He said, we should speak the truth with love. And we should not speak the truth to bring them down. Speak the truth with humility, not with an attitude of superiority, right? I'm better than you. So we cannot judge the heart of another person, not to name the wrongfulness of what you're doing. So it's like with a judgment of behavior, not of the heart. And then I wrote down, because it made sense in my head, someone gaining weight or someone having a bad hair, right? When you tell my brothers or my sisters, that's probably not the best outfit. Or like, man, what'd you do to your hair? That looks bad. No, it doesn't mean I hate you, right? Quite the opposite. I'm concerned, right? I want to know, why did you make this decision? I'm trying to understand, right? So that's why we have to approach it. We cannot judge the heart because we don't know the heart over this media, right? Because I left this comment, this guy's a horrible person. No, you don't know that, right? You can't base the person's heart off that comment, right? You can't make the judgment of the heart. You can probably make the judgment of the behavior because that's what we're seeing. So that's what he was getting at there. And social media is driven by those who use it, by you and me. We can change the attitude of it. We can do good. Social media is driven by society. That's you and I. He says, if you don't like it, don't withdraw from it. Contribute to it to where you see you need it to be. And that's a message we hear all the time, right? If you hear someone talking crap just about someone you know or something they shouldn't be talking about that they don't know about, don't just stay quiet and don't say anything. Like, hey, should you be saying this, right? Gossip, the same thing. He says we need to see diversity and differences as complexity and richness, right? They're positive things. If they're having a healthy conversation and healthy different views, those are positive things. And when we engage in dialogues, do we want to learn from them? How are we going to see the other people? We need to come with an open mind of understanding. All right, let me hear what you have to say. And that we need to learn. There's so much competition, he was saying. Have we learned competition or solidarity, right? Technology, social media can communicate and just gather all of us as one giant family that we are. He says, why are we competing when we should be in solidarity with one another? He says, we must learn there is no competition between us because God loves us already. There is no competition to be better than the other person. If everyone's goal is to be holy, to be a saint, to glorifying God's love, we're already there. There's nothing we can do to earn God's love. There's no competition. We have all arrived there. We're all winners. Yay, you get a trophy, you get a trophy, you get a trophy, right? Except for La La Land, that was taken away from them, my bad. Although I didn't watch it, I did watch all the Jimmy Kimmel videos. That was awkward. But yeah, there's no competition between us because we already earned God's love. And then he said there's a common currency in all this because people can be really, really bullied and really hurt by the negativity online. He says human suffering is a common currency in all of this. We can all relate to feeling bad, to feeling hurt. Now find the compassion in that. Do you want them to go through that? What you went through that? Do you really? Right? Human suffering is a common currency in everything. And that we need to think about that. He says the women in every culture are the first one to cry for the war to stop or for the suffering to stop. Because our mothers our mothers know what it is to suffer, to have that connection with someone, and they can't do anything to lose someone. They said they're the first ones to cry for the hope for the suffering to stop, because we know human suffering. That was really neat, and that's really gave me another lens to see the opposition or those who have different views. It was really neat, and Bishop Paul doesn't even do this anymore. He's now assigned in Dublin as the bishop there, but he still has just so much knowledge. It was really neat. You can't find him online though. I tried, and I asked him why he wasn't. He says there's no policy set up, and he really wants a policy set up for all religious to have some type of. He says we should use it, but we need to use it with certain guidelines, especially just like how tricky it can be. It was pretty neat. But you can find his email, he said. He's like, you ever need to get a hold of me, just email me. That was pretty neat to attend his talk. It was pretty cool. I hope that gave you some cool insights.